Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Senceiver Podcast, where we express our opinion. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Christopher, and today I will be the podcast host and guest the podcast today. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Marvel Atta and you guys can call me Marvel.
Hello everyone, my name is Nela Putari Katangkasidiantari, but just call me Arika.
Hello everyone, my name is Cindy Sakarkinanti and you can just call me Cindy.
Okay. So, today we're going to talk about communication. How to communicate effectively as a team. Let's start with Marvel.
For me personally, to communicate effectively in team, we must know what we want to discuss and have the points first. In a simpler way, we must know the problem first so that we can communicate well. For the sender of the information or question, we must speak clearly. Use as simplest words as you can and not the complicated one. Use the right tone when you talk because the tone itself describes how you deliver the information to the receiver. For the receiver of the information or question, first thing first, we must listen to the sender. Understand the info or the question before start talking and giving them feedbacks. The same as questions, we don't need to use complicated words to answer. The tempo of speech is slow and unhurried so that the information provided doesn't accumulate. That's it for me, I think.
Okay, very good. How about you, Erika?
For me, if you want to have effective communication in a team, the first thing that you need to do is respect each other. So when someone giving an opinion or explain something, you need to listen it correctly. And then when you give an opinion, try to use a good word or give an opinion without any bad words. Other thing that we need to do is did some little research so you can try to focus on the topic and explain relatable things with topic. I think that's all. Thank you.
Nice. And lastly, from Cindy, what do you think?
So basically it's the same, yeah. I think maybe before we start the discussion, yeah, creating the right environment will be very helpful by choosing the best time and place to discuss. It'll provide more space and can help you to be more alert, right? And maybe you can respond accountable with clarity. And when you start a discussion, you can make the ideas more organized and use your word as simple as possible. Just be crystal clear. And most importantly, you need to listen to your partners and give each other opinions and just ensure that your facial expression reflect that you're interested. That's all.
That's a good point. Communicate effectively in a team is when we know what we want to discuss and we can deliver our opinion correctly. I agree with I agree with that. But if we want to have effective communication in team, we need to improve our non-verbal communication skills. So what do you guys think? How can we improve that skills? Maybe
For
start with
okay. From my opinion, yeah. For improving nonverbal communication skills, we must understand what is it and how to implement it in the real world or real life. Understanding is the most important before we use nonverbal communication. Sometimes when we use nonverbal communication, every people have their own view and understanding. Exercising hand movement or maybe improving on face expression and can increase the amount of skills of nonverbal communication. Usually, people has nonverbal communication since they were a baby, and it becomes a habit. From knowing the habit, the social environment around them started to understand what it means by face expression or maybe hand movement, body movement, and any other nonverbal communication. From there, we can conclude what they meant by using the nonverbal communication if we have the same understanding. I think that's it.
okay. What about Erika?
Because communication is not about what are you talking about, so you need to express yourself by nonverbal communication. The best way to improve your nonverbal communication is paying attention to your audience. So nonverbal communication, express your feeling by your gesture, tone, and expression. When you pay attention to your audience, you will know the gesture, tone, and expression that you need to show. Others way that you can improve your nonverbal skill is knowing your material. because by knowing your objective, you can use the right gesture, tone, and expression. I think that's all.
Very nice. And last, Cindy, what do you think? How do you improve that skills?
Well, for me, it's important, yeah, to not just be aware of their nonverbal clues, but also my own. I usually just pay attention to what my partner is saying and maintain eye contact because it shows that you're interested and focus on them. And of course, you need to pay attention to your etiquette by not fidgeting or cutting the conversation. And yeah, maybe that's just some tips for me. Thank you.
Yes, very nice point by Marcel, Erika, and Cindy. So basically, the first thing you have to do is to understand the context of what you want to talk, and then we can complete it with the gesture, tone, and expression. Okay, so next, we're talking about business etiquette. How do we, as a student, develop this etiquette when we enter the workforce? Marcel.
If we want to be a professional at work, we must know what is business etiquette first. So business etiquettes are so important that if you don't understand it or we don't do it on the real world, nobody will like you or see you as a good person or a professional worker. Yeah? To develop it, we as a human being usually have already has the basic ethics. In Indonesia, for example, how we talk to our parents, how we talk to seniors, or how we act to superior. There are ethics, and business etiquettes are just how we implement it in a professional working environment. From the business etiquette itself, we can make our clients or consumer feels comfortable and feels nice. And in business theory, client or consumer service is one of the most important factor to maintain them and make them interested to our products or services. I think that's all.
Okay, and what about Erika?
So if you want to develop your business etiquette, you need to do first thing that you need to do is be on time. Like people say, time is money. So being on time, show that you respect to your colleague. And then when you working in the team, please kindly recognize your team because by knowing each other, you will have a sense of belonging to your team. It can make you easier to share your idea with others. And also, last but not least, business etiquette that you need to have is never forget about I said it three magic words. They are please, sorry, and thank you.
Okay, and what about Cindy?
Well, business etiquette is very needed in the work field, right? It's different from other environment. You need to be professional. But the basis of the business etiquette is about building strong relationship in your field by fostering better communication. Well, maybe you can start with arriving on time, speak kindly of others, and most importantly, don't interrupt others. That's it.
Yep, I very agree that the first thing we need when work is to be on time. That shows how much you intend to work, basically. Also, as a team, we have to respect each other and vice versa. So, so that as time goes by, we will become more professional. And then, in communication, there must be such thing as a discussion. So what do you guys think of this discussion, and why is it important to have a discussion in communication, especially as a team? Marvel.
In a simplest definition, okay, for me, discussion skills is an ability to talk together or each other to make the best conclusion for the problem that we discussed about. A good discussion starts with question and curiosity. A good discussion runs with sharing thoughts, brainstorming, talking one by one, and be a good listener. And finally, a good discussion ends with conclusion and solution, or we already know what we have to do next. A team with a good decision skills will always maximize the result from the discussion itself and comes out with the best solution on their hands. From what Mr. Andreas told us too, discussion is not a fight. We talk to each other, understanding each other's opinion by talking and listening well. and ends up with conclusions that teams has agreed about. And for me, that's a good discussion skills.
Okay, what about Erica?
Basically, discussion is this about sharing your idea to each other, and also in discussion, it's include how to giving and receive opinion from the others, and also giving opinion. So when you have working in a group, you need to have discussion skill. It's important because this skill will help you to explain your idea to group, and also discussion group can make you easier to understand what your partner talk about. And then discussion group is not only about the ability to tell your idea, but also the ability to listen and understand what your partner talk about.
Okay, and last from Cindy, what do you think?
It's the same for me. Like Marvel and Erika said, discussion is very important because by having it, you can learn or help other people learn to examine issues, to share ideas, and to listen to the ideas and point of view of others. That's it.
Very agree. But because it seems that discussion is where we can respect each other and express our feelings and opinion and something like that. So basically, your point is correct and very important in a discussion. So, last with your team right now, do you guys think that you all have an effective team?
For myself, yeah, I'm so glad that I have an effective teams. To be honest with you, when we discussed about the content that we want to upload next, there are several ideas and answers that we can think about. And when we work as a team, we can share the stuff that you guys have to do and I have to do. We have our own role, and it works well in our team. We trust each other too, so every one of us have our own responsibilities to finish our duty to maximize the result of every task that we have done. I think that's all.
Okay, next from Erica.
In my opinion, we already become an effective team because we can communicate well, we have discussion very well, and also when one of us giving a idea, even though when I have an idea, all of you receive my idea very well, and also you giving the feedback in a correct way, and always remind each other about our tasks.
Okay, what about Cindy?
Well, yeah, I think we're such an effective team. Well, actually, I'm very grateful that I have this team to do our work together, and I really like that we really help each other out and everything. We do things really fast, and all of us give each other's 100% in all work. And to be in this group teach me a lot that I need to be more active and open about what I think about others. Thank you. That's all.
Okay, yes, I agree. You all did a great job. We all communicate and discuss very well as a team, and we work together with our own role in when we do Mr. Andre's task, and that's why I can say that we have an effective team. Okay, and next we will enter a new topic, and it's about education. Do you guys think that we need the education to be successful? Let's start with Marvel.
Okay, I think, and most people will think the same, that education is the most powerful factor to become a successful person. As you can see, until now, you can search in Google if you want to know more. Yeah? Indonesia is still a growing country, we all know that, so it's a normal thing if the human resources qualities are not as good as developed countries. But what is exactly the main problem that affect Indonesia's human resources the most? The first thing I know is that the education level. I have researched in the internet and got the info that Indonesia's level of education is ranked 53 in the world in 2021. We can still work that out and find a solution. But I mean by that, from the information I've got, the level of poverty and unemployment are still too high. too high. And if we connecting it with the educational qualities, it just makes sense that education is the key and the most important factor to be successful. And I'm sure that if we can increase the educational quality in Indonesia, our country will be much better in the future, and hopefully can decrease the level of poverty and unemployment and in a big scale. I think that's all.
That's very, very nice information and point from Marvel. And next, what about Eka?
So I think that we need education to be successful because education is one of the most important thing that people need to do, because by doing an education, people can learn not only from the theory, but we can learn from the process. When you are in school, you learn how to work in team, and besides that you can learn from the soft skill from the school and university, such as communication and teamwork. Even though a lot of people think that communication is not important, but I think you can learn a lot from the education. So when you become a professional, the theory maybe not help you a lot, but by doing an education, you will have a soft skill. Others thing that we can get from education is relationship, because by doing an education, we can meet a lot of people that can be your friend, and sharing with each other, and you can get a lot of information from it. And education is the not only way to be successful, but you can get a great experience that can help you to be successful.
Okay, and last from Cindy.
From my opinion, yeah, it's very, very important. Well, maybe not all of the successful people in this world got their place from education, yeah, is from their knowledge, or like Erika said, like it's from their skill. But by having the education itself that we needed, can make it more easier for us to make a wise decision ourselves. So yeah, I think by taking a wise decision can lead you to success. That's all.
Yes, that's very correct. And I think without education, so this is the outside from education skills, you cannot deal with problems that might be in work. For example, is failure. Failure. This little thing that we usually happen in school can give a huge impact on us when we enter the workforce. And okay, I think that's it for our talks today. We hope you enjoy and are inspired. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys. Bye.
Bye. Have a nice day.